Greetings. This message is to all human beings in this shared planet. I come to you to plead for help. But before I start talking about what I'm going to talk about, it's pretty graphic, so I will make some suggestions. If you are under 18, please do not watch this video. And also, if you have been diagnosed with PTSD or post-traumatic disorder, or if you've been a victim of violence, traumatic violence, please do not watch this video. Thank you. Next, I wanted to share certain things to you. Can you guess where I was born? Can you guess my religion or my ethnicity? I guess you don't. I want to share something important to you. Kofi Annan, once he said, a genocide begins with the killing of one man, not for what he has done, but because of who he is. And something similar happened in Ethiopia today, in Ethiopia this week. Starting October 23rd, for consecutive 4 days, over 67 people were murdered because of who they were, not what they did. And I can explain the reason. But first I want to explain to you. Let me tell you what happened and you decide to tell me. You can decide to yourself whether it was unrest, conflict, or crisis, or was it ethnic cleansing, genocide, or crimes against humanity. I cried for 2 days, but now I'm trying to not be emotional. It's hard to not be emotional. The crimes that took place in these areas, in Oromo region, mainly in Bale, Arisi, Hararge, and the outskirts of Addis Ababa. There has been also an attack ordered in Bishoftu, and also before it used to be known as Nazareth. What happened was this. People were getting attacked just because of their ethnicity or their religion. A father and son, a son who just recently graduated from a university with economics degree, was attacked. They were beaten to death and their bodies were dragged on the streets. Why? Because of their ethnicity and their religion, because they were Christians. 8 people in Arisi was beaten with sticks, metal rods, and machetes, and then their limbs cut off. In Hararge, a young man named Masfin was dragged out of his house. At first they torched his home, and then they beat him to death. They drag his body on the streets, and they dump his corpse by the gutters. His mom couldn't bear the pain, as reported that she passed away the following day. And there are many, many ugly, gut-wrenching, inhumane acts that were reported. I've seen video of females that have been killed by machetes, but then they removed their breasts. In Arisi, there were females who were attacked, but then they were taken to the clinic nearby, but while they were there, they were attacked again, killed, and their breasts removed. They have killed man, they have removed the man's genital, and some places they did, I can't even bear say those. And in an area in Bale, they killed mother, father, and son. Isn't that ethnic cleansing because of their ethnicity? It was targeted. Churches were burned. In fact, there's over 30 churches burned this past year. But there were churches that were targeted. And the houses were torched. So people have to run. The young men, women, children, pregnant women try to shelter in churches. while the threat is outside, while the people want to come and burn their houses, their churches down. And the authorities, the Oromia police and the Oromia special forces stood by as these attacks took place. In outskirts of Addis Ababa, they were targeting an ethnicity, Gamo people from the south. Preachers from the Protestant church were killed. The same way attacked, sticks, metal rods, and machetes. People were hacked down. They were butchered, their limbs cut off, female being decapitated, breasts removed, genitals removed, bodies blindfolded, naked, tied up, and tangled up. I can't imagine any human being choosing to do those things. You might say, why? What was the oldest reason? Well, the reason is the ethnic federalism and the ethnic-based politics. 1991, when the socialist government was gone and the guerrilla fighters won and they came in, the TPLF, the Tigray People Liberation Front, decided to use ethnic federalism to divide and conquer. And they did succeed. They ruled almost what it looks like an apartheid for 27 years. They committed hideous against human crimes. But then everyone from every corner fought. Many died, many perished, and what we hope would have been a good change came 18 months ago, led by Dr. Abiy, which is from the Oromo Party. Now the problem was, from the ethnic federalism, the people who benefited was not only the TPLF. There were the ethno-nationalists, the extremists, who were only, they thought, they were their tribe first. Some people, I would hope they would say, I'm human first. I am human first. You need to be human to be whether Muslim or Christian or a Jew, or whether to be Oromo, Amhara, Tigray, or Irish, Scottish, or German, or Chinese or Japanese. You need to be human first. These people lost their humanity. They desecrated corpses. I mean, they already killed them in inhuman ways. What sadistic way must be for somebody to cut up corpses, gut up the internal organs, and burn the corpses and skin the bodies. Now tell me, isn't this crime against humanity? And these people targeted because of their ethnicity and their religion? So why are you telling me it is unrest? Why are you telling me it's crisis? Why are you telling me it's conflict? People, humans, my fellow humans around the whole globe, please stand up with us. The Ethiopian government is trying to cover it up. The international media is spinning it the way they want. This is not right. These innocent victims deserve someone to speak for them. So I ask you to stand with us, denounce this act. Now let me tell you the irony. This all started because of one irresponsible post on Facebook. A man named Jawar Muhammad, a 33-year-old young man, resides in Minnesota, a U.S. citizen with Oromo background, who've been active since 2003, an extreme ethno-nationalist, who proudly declared that he's Oromo first on Al Jazeera long time ago. To him, the only thing that exists is Oromo, not everyone else. Him and his thugs, the 1.7 million followers he has on Facebook, reminds me of Hitler and the Hitler Youth. In the middle of the night on October 22nd, he posted, he said, the government has surrounded my house and they are trying to take my security details away. And in frantic, he asked for his thugs to come and help him out. They did. They came from every corner in the city in Addis Ababa. They camped around his house. But then the federal government and the federal police confirmed there was no such thing. He created the false flag attack to show his muscles against Dr. Abiy Ahmed for the comment Dr. Abiy Ahmed made in a parliament speech, saying that people who do not have Ethiopian passports should not meddle in the politics. Unfortunately, 67 people or more, there are some bodies that are still haven't been found, paid for it. Just to show his ego. These people were murdered in inhumane, in the most despicable way because of his post. Don't you think he should be held accountable? He's been spreading hate speech and inciting violence through the media he created, the Oromia Media Network based in Minnesota, USA. Don't you think this man should be held accountable? I do think so. Because many people lost their houses, hotels were destroyed, people lost their lives, many are injured, thousands have to seek shelters in this church and live through this traumatic experience because of him. And I asked everyone that who can get involved to get involved. When this happened, the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Dr. Abiy, was in Sochi, Russia. We were hoping either he would flow an emergency crisis or he would issue a statement as soon as he reached Ethiopia. Oh no, he waited a few days. He wanted to choose what he had to say. Did he go see the people? Did he go to visit the hospital? Did he see the site? Did he see the murdered? No. Did he console the family of the deceased, the murdered people? No. Did he attend the mass in the cathedral called by the leaders, the fathers of the Orthodox Church? No. Instead, he decided to gather the Oromos and discuss what happened. This is an absolute disrespect, in my opinion. In my opinion, he should have declared national mourning for about 3 days. Lower the flag, because humanity died that day. The hate speech that was put into the veins of these thugs for over 27 years, almost 30, these kids, these thugs, were brainwashed. And they went out there and acted like an animal. And they killed their fellow human beings just because they were from different ethnicity and different religion. Now there are some mistaken identity, and a Muslim brother ran into a mosque to shelter. They chased him, they killed him, but then they find out he was a Muslim afterwards. Another Muslim in Nazareth was shot dead while he was trying to protect the Christians. Thank you, brother. May God rest your soul in peace. Now I ask you, my fellow human beings, did you choose where to be born? Did you choose your ethnicity? The color of your skin? As unfortunately, we don't get to choose all those. But these people, for their political gains, they use these things and they twisted them. And it is costing us lives. Ethiopia is heading toward genocide. The world was late to prevent Rwanda in the 90s. The world was late during Bosnia and Serbia crisis. Let this be the warning. Let this be the warning bell for the international community. Genocide is coming to Ethiopia if you don't do anything. Jawar Mohammed needs to face justice, and those who committed those crimes need to come and pay for their crimes. And I ask for the international bodies, UN, US, the EU. I know UAE and Saudi has a good relationship and they have interest in that region. Really, can we afford another Rwanda, another Somalia, another Yemen, another Syria? No. Now I want to take the time to ask you. I want to take time to thank the US Embassy in Addis and Ambassador Mike for speaking up, for issuing statements. And I ask the rest of you to follow. Norway, Denmark, Sweden, Germany, France, Great Britain, Saudi, the monarchs, and the EU, UAE. I ask you to please speak up. No human being should die this way. What was committed was not unrest, was not conflict, was not a crisis. It was ethnic cleansing, religious persecutions, crimes against humanity, and genocide. I wanted to read one more thing, where Martin Luther King said, "In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends." One way or another, whether 67 people died or 67 million died, one day it will end. But when it will end, we will remember those who kept silent. And especially the Amharas have been targeted since 91. There was genocide committed in Badeno. There was Badeno Oromia and Gurafarda Oromia. The Amharas have been killed in Wolkite. The Wolkite, now it's current day Tigray. Historically known lands, Wolkite and Raya. The lands were known to be Amhara lands, but taken because they are fertile. They needed for the farmland, and they are being kept by TPLF like apartheid. The world is keeping silent. The Amharas have been being killed every day. The Amharas have been killed by arrows in a region called Benshangul, which they also took the land Matakkal, which the majority is Amhara and historically an Amhara land. Northern Shawa, the Dara Amhara land, is taken by Oromia. The Amhara has been being killed for decades, almost 3 decades coming, and the world has kept quiet. TPLF has put Amhara and Oromo against each other for its purpose to divide and conquer. And those extremists, the ethno-nationalists, are fanning the flame for their own interest. Now I call upon you, the world leaders, please prevent this ethnic cleansing from happening. Please avert this genocide from happening. Please get involved. There is diplomatic missions, there is economical and political, geopolitical. There are so many things that you could use. And I call upon White House and President Donald Trump, please, Lord, sir, get involved. Please get involved and take action. And more than anything, those people who've gone, they've gone for good. But we need to keep this world peaceful for the next generation to come. So these crimes had to be punished so it cannot happen again. And I joined this Wednesday, a Wear Black Day, to remember those who were murdered gruesomely. And my prayer and condolences are with their family and friends. And I hope you, my fellow human beings, to join the movement. What can you do? Change your profile. If you go to Amhara Weekly Facebook page, you can find things that you can download. Join the movement. We want the world to hear what just happened. Second, you can call your government, embassies, local officials. You can write to your president, parliament. Let them get involved. We want the world to ask. The human rights associations need to go and investigate. UN, United Nations Human Rights Commission needs to investigate. And international criminal courts need to prosecute, bring those who committed this crime to justice, including the instigators. The one like who posted the irresponsible post on Facebook. And finally, I want to say something to you. If you decide not to take action and say, what is it to me? Well, I will leave you with one wise word. Emperor Haile Selassie went to Hague in 1936 to speak before the League of Nations. They asked the members to be in their sides, but the members chose the appeasement strategy, and they lifted the sanction against Italy. Italy invaded Ethiopia, and countless lives perished. But during that speech at the end, Emperor Haile Selassie said, "Today it is us, tomorrow it will be you." It was a prophetic word. It did happen. 1936 it was us. 1939 it was you. Now I ask you, if you let Ethiopia disintegrate, today it might be us, it will be you tomorrow. No man is an island. No nation could be an island. In a global market, everybody will be affected. And the vacuum left in Ethiopian crisis will be filled by extremist groups like Al-Shabaab. And we know that it is a threat to everyone all over the world. And I specifically asked, for all of you, those who are believers, whether you're Jews, Orthodox, Catholics, Protestants, Muslims, Hindus, please do pray for peace for Ethiopia. And what the Amhara is going through, those people who can understand the most are the Jews, the Armenians, the Kurds, who've been killed, massacred, displaced because of who they are, not for what they did. And I call upon those who have the heart to stand up for Amhara cause. Please stand up with us. The Amhara does not want to be above anyone or rule over anyone. We want to be equal and treated justly, fairly, and equally. Help us to stop. Help us to dismantle ethnic federalism in Ethiopia. Help us to bring the terrorist organizations, in my opinion, they should be designated terrorist organization, TPLF, Tigray People Liberation Front, OLF, the Oromo Liberation Front, Jawar Mohammed, and his youth, Kero. Help us to bring those to justice. I pray that all of you around the world, the leaders of the world, specifically the European Union, the UK Parliament, President Donald Trump and the Senate Committee for Foreign Policy, President Putin, the Russian Orthodox Church and Patriarch, I plead with you, and the King of UAE and the King of Saudi, I plead with you, please do whatever you can in your influence to change the current trajectory of Ethiopian politics, because it's not going to end well to nobody. Please be the voice to those who were committed, those who were killed, murdered in such hideous way. It's even hard to look at the pictures and watch the videos. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you will be engaged and help avert this genocide in making. Thank you, and God bless you.